welcome to our town hall meeting for the second quarter of 2025. And I'll open up comments for the public. Please give us your name and address when you come forward. A stampede ensues.
Oh, here he comes. Drum roll.
You already had one joke about Notre Dame tonight. Larry White, 102 Sylvia's Court. I would just like to get an update about the progress from the city manager on the new city hall and also the new parking lot in the back of the city hall. If we could do that. The other thing too is I know Ms. Stein brought my name up in the thing. I would like to know what the progress is, if there's any, on getting the availability of crossing Douglas Drive with a golf cart to get downtown. Thank you.
So I want to,
Want me to respond?
yeah, let's go ahead and tell him what we know.
Well, especially just because it's Mr. White. City Hall is currently out for bid, the actual remodeling of the inside of the building and everything like that. And right off the top of my head, I can't remember the exact date of it closing, but it's something, we probably got a month before it closes because I think it was a 60-day window. The parking lot is, they're getting everything together. That has been signed and ready to go. So that should be completed well within the parameters that have been outlined, sir. Yes, sir. Golf carts, that's Jamie.
So I think, Mr. White, we wanted to use the Midtown RSVP process as an opportunity to render, using the urban design skills of the University of Georgia, some potential treatments for that area. So we're also looking at all of the Kings Bay Village Plaza and that intersection right there. So maybe we could render some connectivity ideas. Then also further up on Charlie Smith Sr. But I think then part of the work that community development wants to do to support that vision planning is to think about the grants that we could go after to prioritize those intersection improvements. And, you know, years 0 to 3 after the vision plan is created, what can we be doing, and kind of come up with an action plan or a work program to implement what comes out of the vision plan.
Are we aware of any like legal requirements or constrictions for crossing the state highway?
Yes, sir, we are.
Yeah, I mean, are there workarounds though? I mean,
You kind of put me on the spot. I wasn't necessarily prepared to answer this, but there are, and I want to say it's Julia Street, there's an opportunity to cross 40 at that location. And I want to say there was one other location where it does cross.
so it's just something DOT.
We had to go through a process, and this was going back early 2020, 21 timeframe. We've been trying to find that whole file, and we haven't had a lot of luck. But there was also a presentation that was made to council, and an action taken by council to allow for the crossing over of the state highway. If you recognize coming into St. Mary's, and I want to say it's right around the Dark Entry Creek, there's a sign over to the right as you're coming in that says Golf Cart Community. We had to place that there because there were places that golf carts were allowed to ride on the roadway, i.e. downtown, but also because of crossing that state highway. So there was a process that we went through for
we
that.
assumedly would have to go through that same process on Charlie Smith Senior Highway, which is spur 40. Because
It
it's
would
also
have
a
to
state
be, it would
roadway.
have to be an exact location to cross over. It wouldn't be permitted on the highway because it's over 25 miles per hour. All right there?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we're gonna get the map delineated and put on a separate page that says, this is the golf cart map.
Okay.
Yes.
Anyone else?
Good question.
Hello. I'm Jerry Carroll. I live at 406 West Collier Street downtown. And I have a question for you, Ms. Stein.
Can you speak up into the microphone?
Yes,
please?
I have a question, I think for you, Ms. Stein. There's a new marina being built on St. Mary's. And there's been a lot of property all along St. Mary Street being purchased. Is there any plan for the development of that?
Thank you. Not to our knowledge. I mean, the properties have been acquired, but what I always tell people who raise this question is that we have very good zoning in that downtown area, so there are only certain uses that are allowed. We have height restrictions. That is also part of our historic district, so there are some material or aesthetic requirements. There are lots of checks to what could potentially get developed there. But I don't have any plans.
Right, I mean, you know, it's been purchased privately, and they have put forth no request from the city to develop that property in any way at this point. So, you know, the city really has had no direct involvement. We've inquired, you know, but have not been communicated with in any way about what their intentions are. And as such, it's at this point private property, and the only thing we can do is enforce the zoning restrictions that we have.
Apparently the property is along St. Mary's has been purchased by the same people that are building the marina. And I can't believe that they don't have a plan. So,
They very well may, but they have not shared it with us.
okay.
Everybody, and thank you for your service, all parts. Thank you, Madam Clerk, you too. All right. So a quick testimonial, if I may, to follow.
Give us your name and address, please.
Oh, my name, John Morrissey, 238 Cardinal Circle West. Thank you for that. I'm sorry. Very dismissive and not doing it. I wanted to do a testimonial. I don't know which way the camera's working. So during our master plan, we had a request to make sure we fill out these surveys, and these postcards are all over the city, and I intend to bring them to Quantasun Monday. There's about 40 people that we can make sure get to see this. I filled it out, took about 10 minutes, so I just encourage everybody that's watching this. It's a great survey, and I have a person in mind that I thought was that would make you think of the city, but that's my personal gift to the team, and maybe they'll share it with you someday. The other thing I would like to say that just came up relative to this transportation, particularly Exit 1 and the modal paths that are coming, and maybe extending the path through somehow to get it over into 40, and however that may work someday, I don't know. But one of the things that Mr. Horton will tell you that we discussed in the city significantly and posed to Georgia DOT is that from a standpoint of sea rise level and other reasons, there are 3 bridges that needed attention. Burrell Creek, well, the road, the street, the small bridge, and then Dark Entry Creek Bridge, and then the causeway to Cumberland Harbor. And that those needed to be improved, embellished, raised, or whatever, so that, in speaking for the future requires that those need to be upgraded so that they can deal with what's coming relative to sea rise level, and that they had to get into the project scheme for GDOT. Burrell Creek is already, to our great satisfaction, there. But the other two in particular, and I would tell you, Dark Entry Creek, if it does have to be raised, it can be expanded, and then that can start to deal with your whole issue of the intermodal and maybe using golf carts. But that bridge in particular needs to be significantly upgraded, and it needs to get in the GDOT scheme. And it's a challenge to try and get their attention. But I would encourage you to put that on your project list when you're starting to get ready for the future. But thank you very much for a great update from Master Plan, and also for continuing your quarterly town meetings. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Ken Jolly, 102 Saltgrass Trace. Mr. Mayor, council members, city staff. When I first came down here in '78, St. Mary's looked a lot different. And one thing that I recognized was everything has to change. It's inevitable, it's going to happen. The key is making sure that the change is something that is going to take place at the right time, in the right place, with the right people overseeing the change. In the last several years, I've seen a tremendous amount of really good change taking place in St. Mary's. As time has progressed from that point, I see even better change taking place. I see better oversight occurring, and I see a lot more definition and direction taking place when it comes to that oversight. So I'm very pleased with that. And all of that doesn't come without an awful lot of effort, and an awful lot of work, and an awful lot of time that's put in, not only by yourselves, but also by our entire city staff. They are some hardworking people. They are some dedicated people. Without them, St. Mary's wouldn't be what it is today. And we have a great plan for the future. We collectively, as the entire city, more specifically our community development director, putting in hours to ensure that we're going to be moving forward in that right direction. And we have been. I hear a lot of complaints from people. My trash is not getting picked up on time. I can't always get to where I want to go. There's too many trees on my street. What's that smell? Well, my experience has been our new trash collection company is doing an outstanding job. I just don't have any complaints. Of course, one needs to read the instructions that were provided on the receptacles when you got them. And if you follow those instructions, there's no problem. Now, if you put your recycling out the wrong day and complain that it didn't get picked up, well, that problem is on you, because the information is there. Phone numbers are available to call. I've got a special load of trash that needs to be picked up. It's bulk material. Make the right phone call. They're Johnny on the spot. I got a speeding ticket and I wasn't speeding. Our police force is probably one of the finest police forces that I've ever seen. They do a wonderful job. They are very courteous, and they're available to us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, as well as our fire department. I think we all need to just sort of sit back a little bit as residents and think about all of the good things that are happening here in St. Mary's and get behind all of the good people that are making it happen and support them 100%. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Anyone else? All righty. I will now close our town meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
All right. Got to go to the
Thank you.
40th anniversary.